Hey Starseeds, welcome to Starseed Energetics. My name is Bora and I'm going to be talking about how to break free from third dimensional addictions, or any addictions in particular that you might think is stemming from one thing, but I just want to talk about the most broad conceptual context of where addictions stem from and how you can resolve your addictions. There's so many different ways you can go about resolving your addictions, whatever that is. It could be alcohol, drugs, smoking, emotional addictions, relationships, toxicity, food, whatever it is, or self-sabotage. Whatever it is that you find in your life that is a pattern of addiction that you know is not good for you, but you keep going to it. From a human approach, you would try to resolve it by linearly trying to unravel this knot. But if you want to just kind of break the whole knot and cut it away, it's just stemming from the highest conceptual ideology that the self is limited. How you can perceive this from an energetic perspective. Imagine your life is a pattern in space-time, because that is essentially what it is. Your life is a pattern in the space-time continuum as you experience it in the human body. Your human reality and your human perception, all the different sensory input that you're filtering out from the absolute infinite field of potentialities, is just a pattern unfolding in the space-time. And if that happens so that there's a knot showing up from time to time regularly, and it's the same pattern of knots, it means that you are creating an energetic kind of vortex to hinder the flow because of a belief system. So addictions are a product of a limiting belief system. And how is because a limiting belief system literally is a knotted energy form in your circuitry. And the highest conceptual limiting belief system that every other limiting belief system in your reality, whether that's through prosperity, whether that's through love, whether that's through health, whatever your challenges you're having, if you go up the ladder of energy, it's all stemming from the one holy source of limiting belief systems, which is, in English, can be translated as that the self is limited. And that's the main belief system. So you can try and solve problems in your financial life or problems in your health by, you know, going at it from these lower level experiences and trying to unknot it there, or you can go straight to the source of that belief system, because that is that the self is limited. And how that is translating into addictions is because, like I said, this limiting belief system is, if you run code programming, because life is very similar to how software is manifesting through a huge list of computer programming. You know, even when you look at a website, it's a manifestation of the computational intelligence filtering itself through lines of code, and then you get a website or you get an application. But once you have a faulty block of code as a loop, so there's a function called a loop, and what it's meant to do is repeat a certain pattern until it finds a resolution and then move on to the next line. However, sometimes that block of code is unable to resolve itself, so then it actually breaks down and it crashes. So when you see a website crash, likely it's due to a faulty loop. That's exactly what an addiction is, and that's exactly what a limiting belief system is. A limiting belief system manifesting as the addiction. And like I said, you want to go straight to the source of all limiting belief systems. So if you think about what is the main belief system, like there is one source wherein all the other limiting belief systems are birthed, and that is that the self is limited. Okay, so now that I kind of explained the energy of all of this, I'm gonna talk about a few tips to actually get out of this energy. And this is going to be practical things you can do. Please let me know, because I'm not going to go into too much detail. Like, I don't want to, you know, go on and on about each point. But if a certain topic that I'm touching on here really captivates your interest and you want to learn more about it, please leave a comment below about which topic you want me to make a whole video about, and then I'll try to make a video. But yeah, it's my intentions to make more videos, and I keep saying that, but I mean, hopefully I'll just make more. Okay, so number one, when you find yourself in an addictive pattern / a manifestation of a belief system that the self is limited, the easiest thing you can do is shift your perception. And I talk about a lot of these things in a really old school video that I made in probably like 2017, like back when I first started my YouTube channel, called 9 ways to instantly shift your dimension, like shift dimensions from the 3rd dimension to higher dimensions. And in that video, I talk about how actually dimensions, how you navigate through them, is through shifting your perception. There's many different ways to shift your perception. And the most holistic kind of approach from the 3rd dimensional perspective and from carrying on the 3rd dimensional trauma is to go into your heart's perspective, because we've always kind of neglected that holistic approach, and the heart is the actual epicenter of all energy, and it's just a manifestation of that. Like, even if you symbolically think, oh, my heart is the organ that where your entire fetus actually grows from the heart. There's so many different ways where I can explain why the heart is such an important energy or symbolism to your consciousness, but the point is that you want to shift your perspective, and the most easiest, graceful way to shift your perspective instantaneously is to go into your heart center. You can just do an intention and it can just work like that, depending on how much inner work you've done. But a lot of you who are watching my videos, you're probably so well versed in spirituality that you can just get into your heart space when you intend it. Another way to go about it is to imagine somebody or something that you love. I personally like to summon the energies of the earth and the sky, the central sun to be specific, and then center those energies into my spiritual heart. And then what can also help is if you invoke the energy of the monochromatic grids that create our 3rd dimensional reality, and invoke that, and then do the earth and the central sun and the heart energy. That works. I can lead you through a meditation, or I can, like, you know, record a proper meditation if you want me to walk you through a heart center energy meditation, but you don't have to do what I do. You can just do research on getting into your heart space. Probably like 30% of spiritual teachings have to do with heart space, so there's lots of resources out there. There's tons of different heart-based meditations, and by the time you've done a lot of it, at a certain point you can just invoke it like that. I would also recommend looking into Heart Math Institute, which is a more scientific based approach to your heart space energy. It's a beautiful piece of work. Okay, next thing you can do is breath work, and because the breath is also the seat of your perspectives, so what you can do is practice pranayama. You can practice more biohacking type of breath work, like Wim Hof method. But breath work also is one of the easiest ways to shift your perception or break through limiting patterns, such as that the self is limited. And it's more of a physical based approach, so most likely if your addictions are very physical, then breath work will be probably the best way to go. Another thing that I could recommend, if you're at a point where the addiction is so grasping of your energy that you can't even fathom doing the heart center meditation or doing the breath work, because the heart center meditation and the breath work is at a certain range of frequencies that are so higher in density, sometimes when you are in a really negative state, you don't feel like doing this at all, because you're not in the range of that frequency. So your consciousness is kind of telling you, I can't jump that much right now. So in that case, the easiest way to shift your perception or easiest way to work with your energy system is EFT, which is pretty easy. It's like tapping on meridian points while you're saying affirmations. There's tons of videos and literature about EFT. It's not a woo-woo practice. It really does energetically work. And yeah, that's pretty much what I would say for this video. I'm just trying to get to a point where I don't strive for perfection in these videos, because I get downloads all the time and I don't feel like making a video because I'm like, I have to then like freaking write a whole script. But I'm just trying this thing where I don't write a script and I just like talk about it, and hopefully this way I can upload more and be of service. I just finished recording that video before, and then I just thought I wanted to add one more thing. If none of these things work for you and you're still finding yourself stuck in the addiction, and you've tried doing the hard thing, you've tried doing this and that, and it doesn't work, it's okay. Just let it happen, because the self is actually not limited, and there's thousands and hundreds of thousands of other versions of you that your oversoul is experiencing, and this one's just one of them. So haha, it's okay. I'm like half kidding. But what you need to understand is you have to keep trying. Even if you tried like 1,000 times to break your addictions and it keeps coming back, and you try new things and you try more and more and more, trust me, it's worth it. And while you're trying to break it and it doesn't work, at the least while you were trying to break it, you were off of it. Does that make sense? Okay, bye. So like I said, please let me know if you want me to make a video about any of the things I mentioned, because I want to go by your demand. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has helped you. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I will try to make more videos. I love you. Bye.